It can be very easy in Minecraft 1.19 to get tons of unsorted items around your base, so in this video I'll show you how to make an automatic item sorting storage system featuring allays to sort your unstackable items. Combining a bunch of different designs and adding in some designs of my own, I have created the ultimate Minecraft 1.19 sorting system. The items that are stackable will go through the stackable item sorting portion, then the junk stackable items that are left will go into the junk chest area, and then the unstackable items will be sorted by the allays here, and the remainder junk items are put into this storage, and the allay part of the system is very roughly based on Mumbo Jumbo's design, although it does have a lot of differences. This conversion area I made up myself, and this is the standard sorting machine design that's been used by the community for a very long time. And of course, if you expand this to be an absolutely massive storage system, you could sort literally every single item in the game, because you have the full functionality for the stackable and unstackable items. So I've basically broken down this design into 6 different parts, but because this sorting machine is so big, I am going to cover it in 2 separate videos. The first 3 parts of the build in this video, which covers the standard hopper sorting system, and the last 3 parts of the build I will cover in my next video, which will talk about the allay sorting system. And if you want to build a sorting system that doesn't have the allay part, don't worry, because this video only covers the standard sorting system part. There is the first part, which is the input chest. You can see this here. Basically, your items go in here and then they will go up the water elevator into the machine. The second part is the main stackable item sorter, which is more or less your standard design. And so basically, how many ever sections you want to build, you can just multiply the amount of materials you need by that. So for instance, here I've built 8, but you could build anywhere from 1 to, I guess, hundreds of these if you wanted to. You also don't have to have 5 chests high. However, I've just found it's good to do that, as if you're going to go to all the trouble of building a sorting system, you may as well have a good capacity for storage. The third part is the converter and initial junk chest that makes the items that are unstackable be sorted by the allays, and also makes the items that are junk, or basically can't be sorted by our standard system, go into the junk area. Now, one of my favorite parts about this farm design is that from the part of the sorting machine that you see, you actually do not see any difference between the stackable and unstackable areas, which is great, as I think it would be a little bit annoying if you had, some different, maybe 2 wide pillars, things like this. But in this design, there's absolutely no difference, and even when we convert from one type of sorting to the other, this entire system here is able to fit between this little pillar, and so you'll be able to do that seamlessly. Now, before we start in the build tutorial, something you definitely need to figure out is how you're going to customize this to your own build. So find out how many ever different types of items you want to sort, and make sure for every 5 types of items you have taken an entire section of this that you want to build. Let's say you find out altogether you want to use 8 sections like I have here. That would take this many items that I have in this chest. So this is definitely not a cheap redstone machine. So yeah, for this massive machine I have everything in here, plus everything in here for the allay section, and then everything here is for the extra sections, and these are all the sorting items I would need for this. So determine how many sections of each you want, and then make sure to multiply the amount of items you have by each of those 2. You could also have 2 junk chest sections if you want, which is fairly easy by just having the hoppers continue for one of these. And also, if you don't want this in a straight line, you can always have the water just go the other way and turn the redstone 90 degrees, so that's pretty easy. But for this design, I'll just show it in a straight line for simplicity. Now, something important to know when you're planning out to build this is everything other than the small item converting section will fit in a 9 by 6 area, so 6 blocks wide by 9 blocks tall. Although of course certain areas are shorter. If you have this much space, you should be able to fit it, as long as you have a little bit more extra room for this area here. Alright, hopefully you now know what you want to have for your farm, and I'm going to start with the first section. How do you make the item input area? And this will be the base of your entire item sorting system. You're going to want 32 glass, 10 stairs of any type, 12 building blocks of any type, 5 hoppers, a dropper, 2 redstone repeaters, a redstone comparator, 5 redstone dust, a piece of soul sand, a water bucket, some kelp temporarily to make this into more than one water source, and 2 trapped chests. Now the first step is to place 6 building blocks of whatever type you chose going straight up. Then to the side of that place 2 stairs, then place 2 stairs going upwards, sort of like this. And from the very top of the bone blocks going down, place more stairs going upwards. And that'll give us sort of this interesting mechanical look. Now temporarily place down a building block and place your trapped chests on top of it to form one large trap chest. Now from the right side of the trap chest, go 2 blocks away from that and place a piece of soul sand in the ground. And we're actually going to get rid of this in a second, but it's just there to mark out where the water tube is going to be. Place a dropper facing this way towards it, and we'll place a little bit of glass around that. Now place a hopper going into the side of that, a hopper going into the side of this hopper, one into the side of here, then one into the side of here, and one into the side of here. Now technically having the second hopper here doesn't make it any quicker, but it means that when we're looking at the bottom of this we don't see any air cracks there. An alternative design for this that I'm actually going to use instead is to get rid of 2 of those and have 2 of the bone blocks go across here. Then have 2 of these sandstone stairs be facing downward here and here, and we can see how that looks. Now over here place 2 smooth sandstone stairs on the top of our trap chest, a bone block on this side, a bone block on this side, and 2 bone blocks behind it. And of course we can position these bone blocks however you like the look of best, but I'll probably do it like that. Now when we're looking at our trap chest, there are no air cracks anywhere around it. Place a comparator out of the back of this dropper, then place a piece of redstone dust here, and a redstone repeater here, and right click on it twice for 3 ticks of delay. Now place a repeater going into the other side of this dropper, and place redstone here, and also make sure that there's redstone right here. This means that if there's any items in the dropper, it'll automatically spit them out at the correct timing for the sorting machine to process. Alright, now I'll just temporarily remove the soul sand, and we're going to pile up on the sides of this glass. Not counting these blocks down here, go up 5 blocks on every side to make a total of a 6 block tall tower. And place your water bucket right here. Now place 3 pieces of glass on every side here, but not the one that is facing the wall, but not the one that is facing the side of the storage system. And place a glass block right here, as well as another block, a temporary block, and a piece of glass here, as well as here. And finish up by placing 2 pieces of glass. This will make sure that the items do not fly out when they come up the top of the water elevator. Now before we place our final glass, go down to the bottom of here and plant the kelp all the way up to the top. Now that we've done that, take your soul sand and place it at the bottom of the water elevator right here, and that should shoot you to the top, granting you air as well. Alright, now put the 2 pieces of glass on the top. You can also just use 1 piece of glass if you want, it's really up to you. But the idea of this is it'll stop the blocks from flying out too far. And that is the input chest section done. Alright, now for the main sorting system section, and I will show off 2 of these because the first one's a little bit different than the second one. For each section you'll need 50 chests, 35 hoppers, 25 building blocks, 6 more building blocks, 5 stairs of any type, a water bucket, a piece of blue ice, a sign, 12 glass, 5 redstone repeaters, 5 torches, 5 comparators, and 10 redstone dust. Start by going to the side of the input chest and going up 6 blocks with your bone blocks or whatever your building block of choice is. Then from there go over to make a small line out with these stairs all facing upwards like this. And then below that we can place the 25 chests with them positioned roughly like this, and they'll also go 5 blocks tall above that as well. And of course with the stair there we can open that up. We now have all 25 double chests in here. Now grab your hoppers and place a hopper going into the back of every single chest. Be sure that the hopper is going into the back of the chest and not just down into another hopper, as that'll make the rest of those chests not have items funnel into them unless you have every single one of these successfully going into the back of its own chest. And on the top row here have 1 more layer of hoppers going out the back so that sticks out 1 block. Now grab your building blocks, I've polished granite, and go out 2 blocks from the side of the top chest here, and 1 block down, and continue that shape all the way along here for 5 blocks. Then place 1 block here temporarily and 1 block off the side like this, and continue that along here, and then get yourself your redstone repeaters and place each one of them into the back of these blocks so that they're facing just like that. And while shifting, right click and place all of your blocks on the back of those repeaters to make the whole redstone contraption. Grab these torches and place each one of them right underneath these hoppers that are going out from it. Make sure not to put the redstone torches here, but actually actually up here so that these repeaters are facing into them. Now we can go up here and place redstone dust on the back 2 of these so that this is all connected up, and grab your comparators and have them all be facing towards the redstone dust with the wide part of them near the hoppers. Grab your last 5 hoppers and while shifting, right click into the back of each one of these comparators so that that's facing like that, not for instance like this one here. Grab your glass and place it on either side of this hopper chain just to complete that so that no water comes out, and place this piece of blue ice on the end of the hopper chain here, with 2 more pieces of glass, one on either side, and a sign of any type on the piece of glass here. Now that we've done that, you can grab your water bucket and finally place it down here. Now in most sections, of course, the water wouldn't go like that, it would go in a line. So I'll very briefly show you the difference in the water tunnel on the second section. So for how many ever sections of the main sorter you have, for the second section, you'll just build it as normally like the first section, except for when you get to the water piece, you will still place down the glass like this going out from it. However, when you place down the water, it's a little bit different, so place down the blue ice here, place down the sign here, and now between the sign and the sign, place down the water on the left side, and the water will flow down this way towards this, and then when we place down an item that let's say came up from the water stream here, it would flow all the way along, although of course it did just go on the hopper there because we haven't set these up yet, which is actually the next step, which is how to set these up to sort the items that you want them to. The items that you'll need to actually tell the machine what to sort for you want to grab as many different types of items as you have per row of chests. If it's stackable, it could be things like these concrete blocks. You want 3 pieces of any stackable item, then you'll want 100 of any block or any item that is very easy to get per section of the sorting machine. So if we had 10 sections, we'd want to have 1,000 items. I just have iron nuggets here, as to build this farm you definitely would need an iron farm first, so you probably have a lot of iron anyway, and you'll want an anvil and some experience to rename these. And that'll enable you to have every item in the sorting system, so that for instance if you have a section for iron nuggets, these wouldn't glitch that. The good news is that it's very easy. Place down an anvil and rename all of your iron nuggets or whatever your just filler item is to something that you would never have them be named. So for instance, I'll just name this sorter, and be aware that if you have a full stack of items, they'll still all rename for only 1 level. So see if you can rename these in stacks of 64 so that you're not just spending a bunch of levels on renaming like 1 or 2 items. And again, for every main section of 5, we will want 100 of these renamed items. Now you'll also want 3 of every single type of stackable item that you're sorting. So we're going to do all these 10 colors of concrete here, 5 in the first section, 5 in the second section. And I'll just show you the first section as it's the exact same. Pick this up and drag it along your inventory slots to divide this once it turns into saying 5. Once it says 5, place 5 in every single slot of the item hoppers. And then after you've done that, place 3 items here and 1 of them should go. Do the same thing here. Place 5 in every slot, and you could actually do them all uneven, so for instance you could go like this. It just doesn't look as nice, so I prefer to do 5 in every slot. Just making sure whatever you have that there is always a total of 20 items here, and that every single of these 4 slots has something in it. Then we'll just put this in here, and one of those items will disappear, and just continue doing this until you've filled every single one of these up with the items that you want to sort. And I would suggest when you're making one of these item sorters to make a list of all the different types of items that you want to have sorted, and then to grab 3 of each type before you build it, so that's convenient and you can have them all be in order. And of course, generally something you could do too is you could have item frames on the side of this to show what items are actually in each section of chests, or maybe you could just use some signs. Alright, now each one of these has those items in there, and if we go down to the side, something you'll notice is that every single one of these hoppers here has an item that's just sitting in there, and that is good because that means this is working correctly. And I'll just quickly do that for this other section as well. That is now done, and we can test it out by throwing some items. And you'll notice when they go down here, they all go into their respective hoppers, and they'll be located down here at the bottom of these, all sorted like they should be. And that is now the main sorting section done. Now onto the converter so we can start doing the non-stackable item sorting. You will need 50 chests, 48 hoppers, 2 water buckets, 1 piece of blue ice, 1 trapdoor, 1 sign, 30 glass, 27 building blocks, 5 slabs, 6 other building blocks, 5 stairs, and then for redstone, you will want 4 droppers, 2 redstone torches, 2 redstone repeaters, 25 redstone dust, a block of redstone, 3 redstone comparators, 2 sticky pistons, and 5 dirt. If you're making a sorting machine without an allay section, then you just need the items on the left side to build the junk chest part only. The start of this is the exact same as the start of any of these other sections. We're just going to go up 6 blocks with these bone blocks or whatever your building block is, and we are going to go 5 over with the stairs. And as well as that, we are also going to place down our 25 double chests here to make our 5x5 of double chests grid. And you're also going to want to put a hopper on the back of every single one of these chests. And as well as that, you will still want to put a hopper in the back of all these top chest hoppers. But after that, you'll want to put another line of hoppers going into those hoppers. And then on the corner hopper here nearest to the blue ice, place down a hopper going into this hopper, and then place hoppers going into that hopper so that they're all funneling into here. Now on the edge of this hopper chain here, place one more hopper going into this top hopper here. Then to this hopper, place a hopper there so it goes from here to here and sort of goes around the bend like that. Now grab a spruce trapdoor and place it on top of this and flip it up. And take glass blocks and build them from the edge of the water tunnel here all the way over to the sides of this trapdoor. And after you've done that on either side, also place glass blocks on the bottom so that the items can flow all the way here. And because you already have your blue ice here from the other section, you shouldn't actually need these 2 parts. But what you do need to do is grab one of your water buckets and place it down, and that'll flow all the way over here and stop at the hopper. And if you want to keep this as a hopper based item sorter, then don't add any of the redstone that I'll explain in the next video. As the way it works right now, the items will flow into that hopper and go through into the junk chest. But if you do want to complete this and add the allay sorting section, the second part of this massive sorting machine tutorial does cover that, and I'll have a link in the description and in a pinned comment when that comes out. And now that you've built this amazing farm, let's test it out and see if it works. Alright, so I'm going to put in our input chest here every single type of item that we have a sorter for, and I'm also going to put in a couple random items of stackable and non-stackable to see if it sorts it out correctly. You'll notice because this is a trap chest, these items do not come out of the chest until we've closed it, which I like because you can give a bit of second thought if you didn't want to sort something. Then you can sort your inventory at the same time as putting items into there without having to worry about things instantly going into the machine. Now once we do close this, those items will start to funnel through the system, and you can see those being dispensed right there and going through it all, which is really cool to see that happening. All the timing should be perfect on this so it doesn't miss any items being sorted, and once it's gone through all those, the hoppers will sort all those items correctly, giving us each one of our chests to be sorted. Also, I would highly recommend as a finishing touch to put an item frame on each one of these chests, labeling what's actually in them, so that you know before you open it up, and you can also tell if your sorter is working correctly. Glow item frames are especially a cool option, but it's whatever you want. Also, as long as it makes its way into this dropper right here, you could have alternative inputs that go into your sorting system, which I would actually highly recommend. So for instance, going into this hopper right here can be a good option. You could have a chain of hoppers going from here, leading to a different part of your base, maybe having a random input chest here or there. If it's a big enough sorting machine, you could even have a massive network of hopper tunnels, or maybe even water tunnels, that would take your items from various locations around your mega base to your auto sorter. And with the new chest boat, you could even have an area where you ride a boat over a hopper, and that would be like a little dock that unloads the items you've got in your chest boat all the way into your sorting system to be sorted. And that's what I love about this, is once you have this massive system done, you can make it even better by just adding a couple more input chests, and this is a really awesome part of any Minecraft world, truly completing a base. And you can see if we look inside of these chests right here, that the items that we put in to be sorted were sorted correctly, and so I'd say overall it's a really great system that will sort your items with no worries. I hope you enjoyed that absolutely massive Minecraft sorting machine tutorial. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.